Hey everybody, welcome to the first ever live streaming podcast with me, Random Dave, whatever you're going to call me. Thank you so much for joining us. Now today we're going to talk about, are we alone in the universe? It's really important that we discuss this. No, only joking. A few things, that is the topic, but a few things I just want to go over just briefly. Today I got my Poppy. There he is, look. I normally would get the normal one, but they always fallen off, and I think these are pretty cool. So I just want to do a massive shout out to everybody in the forces. You guys absolutely rock, and the respect is, I can't put into words. All the people then, now, and all of you in the future. So thank you for everything you do for us, and thank you. Now just a few little ground rules. I plan, hopefully this will never get religious or politics and all that sort of jazz. Those are two topics that I probably shouldn't get into, though it probably will stir up a few interesting conversations, but I think it's best that we don't go down that route. Though I will just briefly say, midterms in America, big day, whoa, who's going to win? That's as much as I'm going to say on that. But anyway, today's topic, the pilot episode of our podcast here, the TVR Universe, is, are we alone in the universe? It's an interesting question. Now, I've always been absolutely fascinated with space and the universe and the planets. I may not have told you, people that are close to me probably know this, but I may not have told everybody. But it's always been an interest of mine from way back to when I was a kid. It was just really interesting to see how, hello to our viewers there. It's always been a topic of mine. So are we alone in the universe? This is something we could argue about for a long time. And it's also something that I would have to say, this is based on my opinion, things I've heard, read, seen, blah, blah, blah. Feel free to comment in the comment now, live streaming. Feel free after the video's done to comment below and do a little conversation on that afterwards. But let's just go through. Now, there's loads of films and books that always say to us that, aliens are out there. There's loads of TV series and sci-fi that go through down that line, if you will. And it's a topic that has obviously captured the imagination of us for hundreds of years, which is pretty awesome. What I would say is, if you think about it, if the universe or even the galaxy that we live in is a beach, this is what I was saying to someone the other day. If you imagine the galaxy is a beach, right, and every grain of sand, every little grain of sand is a star. Now, supposedly, for argument's sake, every star has at least 3 or 4 planets, maybe 10 planets, whatever. But every star will have some sort of planets around it, blah, blah, blah. And you think how many grains of sand on a beach, right? Just whoa. That's mind blowing. This is just in our galaxy, right? Just imagine that, right? Every grain of sand, massive, right? So much sand, so many stars. And you telling me for one moment that we have all those grains of sand about the middle, for argument's sake, we're one little speck, a speck of grain of sand is our sun with our planet and the planets around us where we live here on Earth. Unless, you believe we're inside a computer programmer, but let's not get into that. You telling me I have all those grains of sand, have all those stars, there's not one single life form that's close to us. Now, okay, there's many of you out there, aliens get seen all the time. America's big for that. Other parts of the world are too, where aliens are spotted, and there's hundreds and hundreds of stories of UFOs and all this sort of jargon. And some of them are very credible. People like, the Air Force and whatnot have seen, alien objects that they've been chased by or they've chased. There's stories of all that sort of thing. And I think some of them are possibly credible. I personally, this is my personal opinion, I personally don't think that they are here yet or have been here. I might be wrong. Who am I to say otherwise? But then, let me just hold you to that. If you think, right, in our technology, say the next life form that we get to in a second, the next life form is roughly about as clever as us, right? Roughly, or maybe not quite, or maybe a bit more, whatever, right? And you think with our current, technology, as far as we're aware, it took us roughly like 20 years for Voyager 1 and 2 to get to the outer skirts of the solar system, right? It's taken them since the 70s to get to the edge of our solar system, right? To get to the next star, it would take hundreds and hundreds, if not more than that, years to get there. With even the best rockets, so we're gonna have to create some sort of warp drive on that's just the obvious truth. But so if you imagine to get to the closest star, which is just 4 light years away, supposedly. Can't remember its name. It's coded 2460, made up. If you can imagine how long it would take, hundreds of years to get to our closest neighbour, and there might possibly be no life there. But if you can imagine that life, the closest life, could be 100 stars away, that would take tens of thousands of years to get there. So if the closest life form is in a similar situation and they've got little tiny rockets, it would take them tens of thousands of years to get here. So if you think about it, that's probably why we haven't really seen aliens, unless we have. You never know. But if, say we haven't, just for argument's sake, I personally believe that's why we haven't, because they're so far away, and space, as I was saying about the beach analogy, space is so vast and so, you can't even imagine it. I mean, you think how big the Earth feels to us, and then you imagine how far it would take us to get to the end of our solar system. That is mind-blowing itself. We're like little ants, right? So you can imagine how long it would take you personally to get the closest star, where there's probably nothing there. So to get to our closest neighbour is miles, light years and light years and light years away. So that is my personal opinion on aliens. Now there's lots of people out there be like, yes, there's aliens, of course there's aliens. There's got to be aliens. There's been spied. I've seen an alien. I've been captured by him. And it's pulled me up and took me into a ship and pulled me back down again. Well, of course you have, mate. But you never know. Who am I to say otherwise? Who am I to say otherwise? This is only my opinion. So, what do you think? That as far as I think we'll go on this topic for the moment. Very important that we, feel free to like, subscribe, comment below. What do you think? Do you think we've came across aliens? Do you think they're here already? Do you think they just don't exist and people are just talking a lot of nonsense? Please give your opinions below. It'd be very interesting to see what you think. And remember, you guys all rock, and feel free to send me some random topics you wish to just for us or me, etc., to discuss in the coming weeks. So for me, Random Dave, see you soon. Bye.